What if the best investment property for your retirement isn't your second property? It could actually be your first home. And there's a condo layout that I think could become increasingly interesting as Singapore gets older, the dual key unit. Because think about what happens over the next 10, 20, 30 years. Your kids grow up, they move out. You slow down at work. Eventually, your salary may disappear altogether, but your home, that could start paying you. And this is where the demographics get really interesting. By 2030, roughly 1 in 4 Singapore citizens is projected to be 65 or older. Singapore is aging, households are changing, and some owners will eventually find themselves with more space than they actually need. At the same time, building a traditional multi-property portfolio has become expensive. For a Singapore citizen, buying a second residential property currently attracts 20% ABSD. A third or subsequent property, 30%. So what if, instead of needing multiple properties to create different income options, your one property could give you multiple ways to live? That's the part of dual key layouts people often underestimate. Imagine you're 65. Your children have moved out, and you're comfortable staying in just the larger 2 or 3 bedroom section. Rent out the self-contained studio with its own entrance, bathroom and kitchenette, and suddenly part of your home is generating retirement income. But maybe at 75, you don't need that much space anymore. Flip the arrangement. You move into the studio and rent the larger section to a couple or family. Same home, different stage of life. Potentially more rental income. But there's actually a third possibility. Some owners may eventually decide they don't need to live there at all. Perhaps they retire overseas and potentially lease the 2 portions to different occupants. Now, your property isn't just somewhere you live. It has become an asset that can adapt as your lifestyle changes. And to me, that is the real attraction of dual key units. Not simply 2 doors, not simply better rental yield. It's you having the power with choices. As Singapore ages, ABSD makes owning multiple residential properties more costly and retirement income becomes more important. I think flexibility inside a single property could become increasingly valuable. So when you're comparing condo layouts, don't only ask, how am I going to use this home today? Ask, how many ways can this home work for me 20 years from now? That might completely change the way you look at dual key units. When it comes to property, sometimes the biggest mistake isn't buying the wrong home. It's buying a home that gives you no options later. Failing to plan today can quietly become planning for fewer choices tomorrow. And that's why I think dual key layouts deserve a serious look, especially if you're thinking beyond your immediate needs and planning for retirement, rental income, or changing family arrangements. I currently have different 3 and 4 bedroom dual key configurations across Singapore, each with slightly different layouts, entry prices, and rental possibilities. So if you want to see which options might suit your family and your longer term plans, reach out to me. Because the best property may not just be the one you love today. It could be the one that still works for you 20 years from now.